Meet Joe. He's the owner of a hotel called Nod Off Inn, who not only works hard to provide his guests with the best accommodations and service, but also works hard to make sure he maximizes his room sales. We're here to help keep Joe's and your business profitable and your guests happy. First, let's talk about what a chargeback is. A consumer who makes purchases with a credit or debit card, a cardholder, may dispute a transaction on their statement. Cardholders contact the bank that issued their credit card, and the bank may charge the disputed transaction back to the merchant who charged it through the merchant's credit card processing company. The bank works with the merchant's credit card processing company to investigate the disputed transaction. The cardholder isn't involved in this process, but gets notifications when the chargeback is complete, and the decision as to who is found to be liable, the cardholder or the merchant, for the transaction. Joe had been dealing with frequent chargebacks because his reservation policy had been missing some key elements. These chargebacks have come from no-shows on reservations and canceled reservations. We'll dive into the details of these scenarios a bit later. For now, let's help Joe build a good reservation policy so he can start protecting himself from future chargebacks. A proper reservation acknowledgement policy has 8 important elements: guest name on reservation, date of reservation, the room rate including tax, hotel name with physical address, name on card used to book reservation, billing name and address of card used to book at reservation, confirmation code, and hotel policy for guaranteed reservation or reservations made by prepayment. You can see in this example here that we have covered all 8 of the important elements of a reservation confirmation. Visa allows customers to cancel a reservation within 24 hours of booking it. If canceled appropriately, cardholders need to get a confirmation code and receipt within 3 days of cancellation. Discover requires that their cardholders must be made aware of the cancellation policy and the expiration of any cancellation privileges at the time the reservation is made. Cardholders must be able to cancel guaranteed reservations up until 6 p.m. on the day of expected arrival. Where should Joe display this info? For online reservations, the best practice is to have reservation terms in a section on the online reservation form, listed above where guests click the final button for confirming their reservation. There should be explicit acceptance of the terms on the part of the guest prior to them arriving at the hotel. Any reservation communication that's texted, emailed, or snail-mailed to a guest should include these terms. Giving guests the ability to click to accept the terms of their reservations on a web page, in an email, or in a text, and having evidence of those acknowledgments is the best way to prove that guests have received the hotel's policies in the event they are disputed by a credit card holder. Proving a cardholder received the terms and conditions of their reservations, not just that they were sent to them, is the hotel's best protection against a chargeback. Having updated his reservation terms and improved the way he communicates them and documents cardholder receipt of them, we give Joe's new procedures a stamp of approval. Now let's see how it holds up. Meet Barb and Carl. Barb is going on a business trip and Carl is taking a last-minute, much-needed vacation. Let's see how their adventures unfold. Barb chose to prepay her hotel reservation to take advantage of a lower rate. Because this was a prepaid reservation, her Visa card was charged in advance for the cost of her reserved stay. Uh-oh, Barb missed her flight and needs to cancel hotel reservations because the business trip is rescheduled. Per the hotel cancellation policy, Barb needed to give a 24-hour cancellation notice for a refund of her prepaid reservation, and it's the morning of the reservation. Barb's company initiates a chargeback with the bank that issued their corporate credit cards, due to the fact that Barb was charged for her reservation even though she didn't even end up going on the trip. How did Joe's policy hold up in that last-minute cancellation? Has Joe done everything he can to protect the hotel against this chargeback? How does he dispute the chargeback? To defend a chargeback from a reservation made by prepayment that was not canceled according to a hotel's policy, a hotel should provide the email or text confirmation from any booking site the reservation may have been made on that was sent to the cardholder, showing the guest reservation confirmation and exactly what reservation conditions the cardholder agreed to. Provide any email, text, or written confirmation from the hotel that was sent to the cardholder that included the disclosure of reservation conditions at the time of booking. Provide evidence of any correspondence or communication the cardholder has had with the hotel related to the reservation. Provide the reservation form with clear prepayment details of the prepayment authorization charge. The form for reservations made with full prepayment must include description of promised services, terms of service, timing of when services will be delivered to the cardholder, transaction amount, refund policies, date and time that any refund privileges expire without prepayment forfeit, any associated charges. Had this been a reservation that was made with only a partial prepayment, the form for reservations must include additionally total purchase price, terms of final payment including the amount and currency, cancellation policies, date and time that any cancellation privileges expire without prepayment forfeit, and again, most importantly, hotels should provide evidence the cardholder acknowledged as terms and conditions for the reservation made by prepayment. A click to accept or other acknowledgement button that was clicked, a checkbox that was checked, an electronic signature that was provided. Joe made the best possible defense against the chargeback. It is important that you take all the necessary steps that Joe took to protect yourself against the possibility of a chargeback. Now let's look at Carl's scenario. Carl made a reservation same day through a third-party reservation. To his surprise, Carl's wife also made a reservation for their last-minute getaway. Forgetting he was obligated to cancel his reservation before 6 p.m. if he did not need it, per his guaranteed reservation terms, Carl contacts Joe's hotel at 9 p.m. to let them know he would not need his room. The steps necessary to charge for this no-show are using the card number that Carl provided to guarantee his reservation. Joe charges the card one night stay plus tax on the day after expected check-in. Joe writes "no show" on the signature line. Joe completes all portions of the sales transaction receipt, including a suppressed card account number and then name on the card as it was provided when the reservation was made. Carl initiates a chargeback when he sees the charge on his statement. Has Joe done everything he can to defend the hotel against this chargeback? How does he dispute it? To defend a chargeback from a no-show, a hotel should provide to their credit card processing company documentation to prove the cardholder accepted the terms and conditions and authorized a guarantee reservation, basically saying, I understand I'll pay in full if I fail to cancel reservation by 6 p.m. of arrival. Evidence can take the form of electronic documentation showing a click to accept or other acknowledgement button that was clicked, a checkbox that was checked, an electronic signature that was provided. It is also very important to know that when disputing a chargeback, respond timely to any notifications and submit all documentation on the first response. Thanks to Joe's ironclad reservation terms and conditions and well-documented communication of them, and the cardholder acknowledgement of them, he was able to present the best case to dispute and protect himself from chargebacks in both scenarios. Way to go, Joe! To benefit from TSYS chargeback handling services for hotels, contact 402-574-7107.